Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome to Retro Select, a series of quick looks at retro games I feel like playing. Today's game is Midtown Madness 3, which was a 2003 release for Xbox, developed by DICE and published by Microsoft. And yes, it is that same DICE who now make the interminable Battlefield series. How I wish they would go back to stuff like this. This was a change in developer from the first two Midtown Madness games on PC. Those were developed by Angel Studios, but by this point they'd gone on to create their own Midnight Club series, so DICE took over. It also became an Xbox exclusive at this time as well, and focusing specifically on the console's hardware rather than the range of 3D accelerators that were around for PCs at the time, allowed Midtown Madness 3 to be a significant graphical upgrade over its predecessor. It was also a better game. Midtown Madness 2 was regarded as more of a standalone expansion to the original than a new game. It was still great, but Midtown Madness 3 moved the series on in a noticeable way rather than just sort of treading water. So, I remember my friends liking this game quite a bit back in the day and encouraging me to get it, and for one reason or another I never picked it up. I don't know why. I think it was just, I don't know, I just sort of made assumptions about it, that it wouldn't be a great game or anything like that, or it wouldn't be as good as some of the other racing games that were available on Xbox at the time. Having picked it up recently, I regret that decision a great deal now, and I think this would have been a great deal of fun back in the day in both split-screen multiplayer and on Xbox Live. Now, Xbox Live isn't an option these days, but split-screen multiplayer is, so you can still pick up a copy of this and play it with friends. We're going to be playing it solo for today though, and there's still plenty to do for the solo player. So let's go play Midtown Madness 3. Okay, here we are with Midtown Madness 3, a game from DICE before they got boring. Yeah, so this is a cool original Xbox game that I never played back in the day. But like I said, my friend Ed was always telling me how good this game was and telling me that I should get this game. And on a rare occasion where I didn't listen to him, because a significant part of my game collection during my late teenage years and early university years was down to Ed saying, you should get this game. For whatever reason, I ignored him in this instance, and having played this a fair bit recently, I kind of regret that now, so sorry Ed. Anyway, yeah, there's a bunch of different ways you can play this game. There's the Work Undercover mode, which gives you a series of missions to do in the two cities. There are single races, there are multiplayer. We won't be looking at multiplayer today, and you can't play the Xbox Live version anymore either, but you can play the split screen version and system link if you have a couple of Xboxes hooked up together with a network cable. So what we'll do first is we'll have a look at Work Undercover. There are two cities you can play in, Paris and Washington DC. I've actually finished the Paris campaign, so I'm going to go into Washington DC for now.
Hey, I got a song that's in your key. Stefano and Michael Tortellini, the famous film producers, are coming to town to shoot their latest action film titled The Quick and the Slippery. Everyone wants a part. But before you make room for an Oscar, I want you to do a little work behind the camera. A rival hotshot producer is in town, and I want to keep everything in focus. I need you hanging all over the place like smoke in a pool hall. Wear this real dope pizza hat. Keep the pizza boxes closed and your ears open. Let's see what kind of script we can write.
So in the Work Undercover mode, you're positioned as a series of occupations that involve cars. And you have to complete various missions and ultimately solve some sort of mystery, which is generally rather more comedic in nature than anything else. So we start as a pizza deliverer. Deliver pizzas to high and low and see what the Tortellinis are up to. So let's begin.
Bienvenuto. This is the Real Dough Pizza Company, the best pizza bakery Washington has to offer. Now that the Tortellini brothers are in town, business will go up. So, we must work hard. My pizzas are a work of art, so I expect you to treat them as such. Capiche?
Hey, I'm Angelina. I don't plan to stay here for long, so don't get in my way.
Yeah, that's the other thing. In undercover mode, in most of the missions, you have a rival of some sort. So in this case, it's Angelina. So we start with standard delivery. I've got a batch of sizzling hot pizzas that must be delivered. You and Angelina go for it, okay? Deliver yours first and you are magnifico. Alright, so the car we have to use in these missions is fixed. So in this case, it's this sort of, it is a Cadillac. It's a pink Cadillac, 1959 Eldorado Seville. So we can see it's quite heavy, doesn't have great handling, reasonable durability, and fairly middling in everything else. So let's begin. Deliver a pizza by driving through the green circles. Deliver all your pizzas before Angelina. You can deliver them in any order. Excuse me. So it's basically a checkpoint race. Take your time, game. Press start.
Get those pizzas out before they get cold.
Alright. So what then follows is open world racing.
Was that you?
So you can take whatever route you want around the city. It's a completely open map. So you don't have to do the checkpoints in the order indicated if you don't want to. But the yellow arrow at the top of the screen and the little road sign markers that appear, they take you down a suggested route, which is normally as good as anything else. So in your experiences with the missions, though, you may find that certain routes feel a bit more optimal. So if you want to take an alternative route, you can do. But I tend to find that just following the route is usually the correct course of action. Now, Midtown Madness 3, as you can probably tell, is not a realistic driving game at all. The handling is very heavily on the arcade side of things, with plenty of drifting and skidding around and that sort of thing.
I'm breathing down your neck, kid.
And the ability to smash almost anything out of your way. I believe that the rule in this game is if it's smaller than you and not moving, you can drive straight through it. But indeed, in a lot of cases, if it's a similar size to you and moving, you could also drive through it. But that will tend to cost you a little bit of speed. So, as much fun as it is to cause absolute carnage on the roads, it will generally cost you a little bit of time. So it's usually a good idea to try and take a reasonably clean route around things. And no, you can't run over the pedestrians, if you were wondering. That inimitable breed that will always jump out of the way right at the last second. Move. Thank you. They've got several different views you can play from as well. You can switch between using the black button on the Xbox controller. I prefer this sort of over the bonnet view because it's sort of pretty close to a cockpit view. I mean, it's not an actual cockpit view, but it's raised off the ground enough that it's reasonably practical. It's a bit more practical than a bumper view.
I let you win. I just couldn't stand the thought of what they'd do to you if you lost.
Sure you did. Alright, on to the next race. Angelina has messed up a delivery to the Tortellini brothers. Take the pizza they really ordered to their apartment, but look out, Angelina is bad because she lost their bonus. Okay, so in this one, we have to get all the way to the destination across town and stop there.
You think you'll get a bonus just because I screwed up? Think again, kid.
And in the meantime, Angelina is going to be getting in our way. So we probably want to spend... We want to keep away from her as much as we possibly can. And pay attention to our damage meter at the top of the screen, because in this case, if it takes too much damage, we will fail the mission, which we don't want. Oops. Oops, I don't want to slam into things. I'll take a little shortcut. Oh no! Bad shortcut. Foolish.
I'll smash your pizza into pieces.
But a pizza's supposed to be in pieces. That may have cost us some time, but this is quite an early race, so we should have a bit of leeway in terms of time limit. It's more the damage meter that I'm worried about at the minute. We're getting there. If you click the right stick, you can see the big map like that if you want. Can we go up there? Yes, we can. Let's go this way. Oh, she's miles away. We have nothing to worry about aside from the time limit now. If we just follow this road around, we should be good. I don't know how accurate these maps are. I've never been to Washington. The Paris map certainly looks fairly authentic, but I don't know quite how authentic it is. Alright, then we just stop here. And we're all good.
Hey kid, is that our new pizza? Don't mess this up again, because we're the Tortellini brothers, and we don't take cold pizza from no one.
If you make me look like a fool again, I'll sell you to the pasta guys.
Alright, alright. I have a late night special delivery for you to a very important person close to DuPont Circle. Don't smash this pizza, it's a work of art. Oh, and if you recognize the buyer, don't tell anyone. Okay, so this is exactly the same sort of thing. So I just follow the...
Be gentle with my baby, okay? And don't get lost in DuPont Circle.
Yeah, just reach the destination. I suspect Angelina will show up at some point. So the reason I was interested to check this game out recently was because I was looking through the original Xbox games catalogue and sort of making a note of all the ones that aren't backwards compatible, because as you'll know if you've been paying attention, the backwards compatibility on the new Xbox systems is not backwards compatibility at all. All it is for selected titles you can put in the disc, and that acts as a key to get you a free download of a more up-to-date version that will run on the more recent systems. Which basically means that it's had to be...
Hey kid, you got pizza for me, Michael Tortellini?
It basically means that they've had to re-release that game as a digital download. So a lot of the backwards compatible stuff you can just buy as digital downloads as well, and putting in the disc into your Xbox One or your Xbox Series X allows you a free download of that. Now, because they've effectively had to re-release all of these games in order to do that, there's certain stuff that they haven't bothered to do that with, and it's generally stuff that has licensed content in it, like licensed cars, licensed music, that sort of thing. And this is one of those games, because it's got so many real cars in it, they haven't re-licensed those cars to use them again, so they haven't re-released Midtown Madness 3, and so Midtown Madness 3 is not backwards compatible on the more recent Xbox models. Which kind of sucks, because Midtown Madness 3 is a great game, but basically it means if you want to play it, you need an original Xbox. Which is fine, because I have an original Xbox. I do not have an Xbox One or an Xbox Series X. At the moment I have no real intention of getting those, because... well, there's no real reason to at the minute. But anyway, It's a time for the annual pizza race. Beat the rest of those amateur deliverers in town by getting the first to get your final pizza to Mr. President. Deliver a pizza by driving through the green circle. Deliver all your pizzas before your opponents. Yeah, so this is...
My family counts on you, so don't let us down.
This is basically the same as the first race, but with multiple opponents. Standing for this. Again, you can sometimes outwit the computer drivers by taking different routes to them, but generally speaking, they take a pretty good route. And so if you drive well, you can sort of bash your way past them, knocking them out on corners and that sort of thing. You see, we're taking the lead now. So the Cadillac seems to have a reasonable top speed, but it just takes a little while to get there. And its handling isn't brilliant. So it's not super agile around the corners, but it does the job. It's fine for now. Yeah, got a comfortable lead now. And heading over this way. So this is one of those games where, as you might expect, learning the map is very, very helpful. And I think that's one of the things that the undercover mode is intended to help you with. Because it gradually takes you through more and more complex missions and different scenarios and that sort of thing that require you to know your way around a bit better. And so by the time you decide to take... Oh no, been overtaken. Oh, that was the last checkpoint as well. How annoying.
Very, very good. Next time, be fun. I will give you a pizza for free.
Yeah, so it's really beneficial to be able to find your way around without having to spend too long staring at the map or following suggested routes and that sort of thing.
My family counts on you, so don't let us down.
But this also has that sort of arcade style thing where if you fail a mission a few times, you'll gradually learn the route you should be taking anyway. And so you'll naturally get better at it as you progress anyway. And you'll recognise the places where you can take shortcuts. You'll know where you need to turn, you'll know the landmarks you need to look out for. All that sort of thing. But it's just generally a really nicely designed game. It's very friendly to the player. It's got a good difficulty curve. It does get very challenging by its later missions. It's got a huge selection of cars to drive. And as I'll show you a little bit later in this video, we've also got a lovely freeform cruise mode as well. So if you just want to enjoy exploring these maps and the different cars, you can do. Which is great because there's a lot of detail on these maps and there's plenty to explore and discover. And there's lots of hidden items around the place as well. There's different paint jobs for the cars and all sorts of things. Don't know if there's other cars that you can unlock by exploring the city, but there's certainly paint jobs to be found. Well ahead at the minute. Let's try not to lose that lead this time. Okay, we're in a much better position this time. There we go, nicely done.
Magnifico, bravissimo. You truly are the best pizza deliverer in town,
So when you finish a tier of undercover missions like that, you get access to that car that you were using in the other game modes as well. And it will then open up the next tier of undercover missions for you, complete with a silly cutscene like the intro.
So Michael Tortellini may be on the take, but taking exactly what? From whom? Good work, P.I. And that pizza you brought me is the real deal. I got you a job as a rental car driver. I think it's time Michael Tortellini gets a close-up.
Okay, so that's how the undercover mode works. Let's go back and have a look at some of the other stuff now. So if we go into single race, you've got three options here. You've got the cruise mode, which allows you to explore the city. You've got blitz mode, which is basically countdown and checkpoint races. Or you've got checkpoint, which are races against other opponents. So let's have a go at one of the blitz ones. Let's see Washington again. And let's start with this first one. This one's like fresh coffee in the morning, whatever that's like. So you can then pick from any of the cars you've got available, ranging from this Paris bus, garbage truck, a little unbranded smart car, and a bunch of licensed cars as well. We've got Renaults, Minis, Volkswagens, Audi. What I really like about this game is that it's got shit cars as well as good cars. So like if you want to drive this crappy little 1985 Renault around the place, you can do. For now, I'm going to take the bus because I haven't tried it yet. So a checkpoint race, all you need to do is go through all of the checkpoints before the time runs out. So you don't get time extensions or anything like that, so it's just purely go through all the checkpoints. And you'll see that the route we've got here is pretty easy, so it should be fine to do in the bus. The game does actually automatically adjust the time limit according to the vehicle you've chosen as well. So because we're in a slow vehicle like the bus here, it will give us a longer time limit than if we were in a faster car. And it's in vehicles like the bus that you see the real benefit of the sort of over the bonnet view, because it's got a really nice feeling of being in that driver's seat. And in the case of the larger vehicles like the bus, it really sort of puts across the size of that vehicle. Like the fact that the viewpoint is positioned much higher up in this and makes the bus feel like a larger, more powerful, heavy vehicle. Which is great in a game like this, which is all about feeling powerful on the roads. One thing you won't be able to tell from the video is that this game makes some really, really nice use of rumble in the controller. So while I'm driving this bus, there's this sort of constant hum from the controller that is sort of very akin to what you would be feeling on a real bus most of the time. It also does things like different road surfaces you'll be able to feel through the controller and that sort of thing. It's got really nice use of vibration in this. I think racing games are always a good place for good quality vibration to shine. And this is a good example of that. Alright, done with plenty of time to spare.
Frame that race and put it on your mantle, kid. That was perfect.
So it keeps track of all your personal bests and that sort of thing on all the tracks. You can go straight to the next race in the same vehicle if you want, or you can go back to the menu and pick another one. And every few races that you complete, you unlock stuff as well. So let's have a go at this one. Let's take Actually, I really enjoyed driving that bus. I'm going to drive that again, actually. So let's complete these first 3 blitz races in Washington. And see if that unlocks anything for us. It might seem easy, and to tell you the truth, it's not that hard. It doesn't look very hard. This looks like another prime bus race. No real corners to worry about.
I think you're gonna be lucky. I've got a rabbit's foot in my pocket to prove it.
I think this is a pretty good looking game, actually. I mean, it's obviously got that sort of original Xbox / PlayStation 2 / GameCube era fuzz about it, by virtue of it being standard definition. But the actual amount of detail is good. Like, it's a convincing variety of textures on the buildings. So you'll see sort of recognisable shops and that sort of thing. Again, I'm not sure if they're real shops or anything, but they look convincing. And when you're trying to create a believable world, that's the important thing. It doesn't matter if they're not real, as long as they look like they could be real, I think is the important thing. I love that checkpoint sound as well. It's such an arcadey sound effect. Oops, I may have made an error. I have definitely made an error. Oh well, we should have some time to spare. It's alright, it's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. Everything is fine. I only have 20 seconds left to get 3 more checkpoints, but, you know, sometimes you gotta make mistakes to learn stuff. We're not making this, are we? Oh well. We learned something.
Too bad it's not raining more time.
Alright, let's try that again. What I get for assuming it was that easy.
Keep your eye on the clock, kid.
Right, just need to remember not to go into the tunnel. This bus is just so much fun to drive. I hadn't sort of realised it was going to be this enjoyable to drive, but there's just something incredibly satisfying about sitting in this position, having this perspective on the road, and just ploughing through all of the rest of the traffic. Right, we are now coming up on the dodgy bit, I believe. So do not go under the tunnel. Instead, go this way. Not sure if that was the most efficient way to do that, but it was certainly quicker than what we did last time. About 30 seconds left. Still not quite fast enough, I don't think.
Head for the final checkpoint.
Oh, it was in sight.
Out of time, but not out of track.
Let's try again. Well, it's a shame this game doesn't have instant restarts. The load times when you restart a race are considerably shorter than the load times when you start a race for the first time. So that's something at least. You don't have to wait a huge amount of time before you can try again. That's always a really important thing for racing games for me. The ability to retry easily. Doesn't have to be instant, although it's nice when it is. But as long as trying again isn't a chore, that's how you make a truly compelling and addictive racing game. Okay, so this is all good. I need to work out what to do at this weird sort of roundabout bit up here, because that's what's been messing me up. Oh, we just go to the... I was making it a lot more complicated than it needed to be. God, yeah, got nearly 30 seconds more time. See, this is where learning the map is more useful. If I'd known that area of the map a bit better, I would have known that if you keep to the outside, then you can just go around that sort of roundabout type thing, rather than going under that tunnel. But now I know, and I can apply that knowledge in the future.
Head for the final checkpoint.
Whee! And cleared with plenty of time to spare.
The clock is DOA.
And a lovely crash to finish with. Alright, let's do the next one. And see if this unlocks anything other than just more tracks. In this one, you can still stop and smell the flowers. It's that easy. Is it though? Let's see.
The sun is shining and I'm in a cheery mood.
Alright, off we go. Looking at the map, I suspect the bus is probably not the best choice for this one, but I don't care. I like driving the bus. See that bit of text you saw there? That's one of the collectible paint jobs. That you can grab by exploring the city. Not feeling super confident with the time on this one, but we'll see. Out of my way, peasants! Oh, I need 2 more checkpoints, and I don't think either of them are that far away, so... A little shortcut through the park.
Last checkpoint.
Yeah, just made it. Smash!
As they say in France, that was very good driving.
The script in this game is brilliant. It is full of hilariously inappropriate stereotypes, particularly in the French stages, and I suspect they probably wouldn't get away with this today. But it's sort of made all right by the fact that DICE are Scandinavian, and there's a lot of Scandinavian stereotypes in this, but I don't know. I've unlocked a new car, the Chevrolet SSR. Lovely stuff. Right, let's go take a quick look at the checkpoint races in Gay Paris, and then maybe finish with a little cruise. We'll go for checkpoint, go for Paris. I've done a few of these already, so we'll go for Block Rock. This one's like a square, only it's not. Alright, what have we got then? What was our new one? There's a Cadillac. You see there's loads still to unlock. With a Koenigsegg as the top end one. What was it? Oh, it's a Chevrolet SSR. It's a weird looking car. It's like a pickup, but not. It's like a pickup with a sports car front. How odd. Let's give it a go. Looks like fun. Right, this looks like a fiddly little track, so we'll have to carefully follow the checkpoints on this one.
The sun is setting, and I am in love with racing.
And again, there's no time limit in these races because you're racing against the opponents, but the game will match the cars that your opponents drive to the car that you're driving, so you'll never be outclassed or anything like that. Although you'll still find that certain cars will work better for certain races than others. And here in Paris in particular, it's very helpful to have maneuverable, agile cars. Some mistakes may have been made here. I shouldn't have followed Paul. Stupid Paul. I'll sneak through there and nab that one. To get out of this little plaza area. And again, like I said with the vibration, the cobbled streets here in Paris are really great for demonstrating that. Don't think I'm going to win this. We are gaining on them though. Don't think it's going to be enough though, not with 2 checkpoints.
Final checkpoint.
Smash! Yeah, they finished.
If at first you don't succeed, crash into the other vehicles.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Right, I'm going to pick a different car. I'll pick a small, nippy and agile one for that because there's lots of awkward corners in that. And so I feel something like the shitty smart car in bright pink is the optimal choice for this race.
Tower to pilot! You are ready for liftoff!
Going up against an army of ambulances. Alright, you're on. I'm faster than you. Alright, not going to follow Paul's stupid advice this time. Instead, we go down here. Ouch! That's the only trouble of driving a tiny car, is you can get knocked around by ambulances. I am not letting you get the better of me, Matilda. Out of my way! Shortcut! Alright, this is going much better. I've never driven a smart car, but the way this car handles in this game is how I imagine the real ones to handle. As in, just like, it's like controlling a 1990s first-person shooter character. You push right, it turns right.
Ice to the finish, mon ami!
Beautifully done, and crash into the pub to finish.
Exciting checkpoint race.
Very nicely done. On to the next. Ooh. Sticking to my chair. That's what I get for recording without trousers on. Because yes, I am. You just know you're going to twist and turn.
There is tension in the air, mon ami.
Right, this looks like it's going to be a fiddly one. So let's try and get clear of the opposition as soon as we can. Oops! It's alright. Under control. Oh dear. In the battle of smart car versus pickup truck wins. It's alright, I got this. Look at that cornering. Absolutely ridiculous. Obscene. And with a smart car being the size it is, it's ideal for taking shortcuts as well, because it can fit through tiny gaps. And a comfortable victory, I'd say. Nicely done.
That race was no match for you!
Alright, and on to the next, and hopefully this should give us some sort of unlock. Around and around and around and around and around and oh la la. Okay, so this one is taking us pretty much all the way around the highway that runs the outside of Paris. Should be fun.
Allez! Vas-y!
Smart car perhaps not the optimal choice for this one, but we'll see how it goes. That's not how you join a highway. That was not very good, but it did the job. Alright, come on, let's get some speed up. Well, Madeline has had a nasty crash there, so... Oh, God! Oh, God. Oh, God. What's happening? Oh, no! These roads are dangerous. Right. We're all under control now. I can see all three opponents ahead of me. Matilda appears to be driving like an absolute idiot. Oh dear. This is a messy race. Here I was expecting this to just be a high-speed ring. And it's absolute carnage. Right, and there's Madeline. I don't think I'm going to catch up with the others on this one. Smart car was a poor choice. Yeah, I'm going flat out. I actually can't go any faster than this. So, oh dear, that's not going to help, is it? So my only real hope is in those two in front of me crashing into something and making a real mess. Which is not out of the question, to be fair. If we look at what Madeline's getting up to. There we go. Into second place. I say, judging by the cars that I've just driven past that are sitting on their side, I say Jean-Michel has been having a few issues as well. But I suspect not enough to allow us to catch up with him. Stranger things have happened, though. Yeah, we're never going to catch him, are we? I feel we are gaining slightly, but just not enough to actually reach him. Well, it was a valiant effort for the little smart car, and I shouldn't have left the freeway there. It's this one where we have to leave. That is the wrong way.
It is the final checkpoint!
Well, second, not bad considering.
Nice, mon ami, very nice!
Not bad considering, but you know, clearly a different vehicle is required for this situation. And I'd say there's only one obvious choice for the job. It's the bus! This is probably a terrible idea, but you know, I'm intrigued to see if it works. If not, we'll choose a proper car. Ooh. And then we'll try a cruise after this as well, just for a few minutes.
Drive over or drive through. Just win the race.
Oh, are they all in buses too? Oh no. Oh dear. This is going to be a disaster. They're all piled up. Oh, I love it. I love this game so much. Alright, come on. Get some... No. You stop that, you cheeky little bastard. Move. That's it. Just cram him in with traffic and barge past. That's how it works. Right. Now an all but clear road ahead of us. And anything that does get in our way, we don't really need to worry about too much because we're a fucking bus. This truly is the life. I feel like we don't get many games like this anymore. I mean, you can make the argument for GTA, but GTA is less about sort of just the joy of cars. It's got all the other stuff in it as well, and for me, trying to enjoy something like GTA Online when people are running around with jet fighter aircraft and that sort of thing and just making your life miserable, it's not as much fun as just a pure playground like this where you've just got cars. I don't know. I mean, I guess sort of the closest type of game we have to things like this are things like Forza Horizon and so on, but I've not actually played a Forza Horizon game, but from what I understand, they tend to focus on the more sort of high-performance sports end of things. Whereas I've always felt like there's a a significant market for racing games involving shit vehicles. Like buses and garbage trucks and 1985 Renaults and that car that's everywhere in Poland that I can't remember the name of. Needs to be like a European street racer game where you just drive shitty cars and buses. And it should basically be Midtown Madness 3 with more maps. And I would be very happy with that. Ooh, I felt that bump. Right, can't be long before they're turning off now. Need to keep a close eye on the map. I suspect it's the one after this one. Yep, there it is. Alright, carefully exit the freeway. Pass through the checkpoint. And make our way to the finish line. And a lovely finish by the Arc de Triomphe. Beautifully done, I'm sure you'll agree.
I smell a movie deal.
Right. Oh, I've unlocked new checkpoint races. I've unlocked a fire truck. Now beaten my personal best time and the best ever time. Alright, we've been going nearly an hour, but I have repeatedly promised a look at cruise mode. So let's just have a quick look at cruise mode. Which is exactly what you expect it's going to be, but, you know. Alright, let's go for Paris again. We'll have traffic density heavy, heavy pedestrian density, no cops, summer morning clear, that's fine. And let's go in the little Renault.
Time for a cruise through the streets of Paris.
Alright, so in this mode, you do whatever the hell you want. You explore, you drive, you smash things up, you just have a bit of fun. I'll see if I can show you a few highlights of the experience along the way. Was that a paint job I just saw there? Yes, it is. That's for the garbage truck. I think you have to pick up the paint jobs in the right car, I think is the slightly awkward thing with those. So you basically need to remember where that is. So if we look where that is, we can bring the garbage truck back here later. Now one thing you can do, which I was absolutely delighted to see, is that you'll notice there's some little M's on the map, and if you know your Paris, you will know that the M's are for Metro. So we just pop down and pay the old Metro visit. It's a handy and convenient way to get around town. Morning! Morning. Morning. Now, I don't know if there's actually anything hidden down here, but you certainly can use it as a means of getting from one place to another. And here we are at the next stop. Let's then just head up the escalators. And through the ticket barriers. And make our... Oh no, that's the other platform. Mistakes were made. Right, where's the exit? There's the exit. Head back out into the sunshine. There we go. Hello everyone. What a lovely day. Let's see what's down here. There's only 2 maps in the game, but they're both quite impressively big. I'm not sure how big they are in terms of like square miles or in comparison to something like Grand Theft Auto or something like that, but they're certainly pretty impressively sized, I'd say. And I believe there are certain places where you can even get up onto the roofs of buildings, because there's certainly a fair few paint jobs lying around that appear to be floating in midair, and so you must be able to get up on the rooftop somehow. Let's investigate the grounds of this mansion. Oh, there's something for the armoured car over there. Anything around here? Nope, nothing much. Oh dear. Getting busily stuck behind a tree. Okay, nothing much there. Over the scene it is. But yeah, this mode here, this cruise mode, is another kind of forgotten art. I mean, sandbox games do still exist, but having a game like Midtown Madness and just providing a mode where there is no aim, there is literally no aim, no point to the experience. It is just to have fun with the game's mechanics and environments and vehicles and that sort of thing. I don't feel like that's something we get all that often anymore. Yes, open world games you can sort of wander around and just sort of do nothing, but I don't know, it never quite feels the same as something like this. It never feels like there's that simple joy of play to it. It always feels like you should be making your way somewhere. You should be making your way to your next destination, your next quest, your next marker on the map. Whereas in this, it's just fun to drive around. It's just fun to pick a car, slam down the accelerator, and just drive and see what happens. And the fact that the world is so open to you, causing chaos and choosing your own shortcuts and investigating sort of out of the way places and pushing the boundaries of what you think like you might be able to do or what you think you should be able to do. And this is where the level of detail we talked about comes into play as well. This mode is fun because of the level of detail in the city. The city is rendered with an impressive amount of detail, and so it is fun to explore because there's always something new to discover. There's new shops to find, there's new cars to crash into, there's landmarks to discover. And as you learn your way around, you come to understand the relationship between different areas, what is where, and how you get to places you might want to find yourself in. Like the old Arc de Triomphe here. Anyway, as enjoyable as it is to just drive around and chill out in this game, I think what I'll do now is I will just park up here in front of this terrified looking gentleman and we'll call that a day there. So that is Midtown Madness 3 for original Xbox. Well worth your time, well worth picking up, and one of several reasons why I think it's genuinely well worth owning an original Xbox, even with the sort of much vaunted and actually not that good backwards compatibility. Anyway, let's leave that there for today. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.